Hey ladies, welcome back to Daughters of the King. I'm Kathryn Gore. Thank you for joining us once again for our series on a woman of virtue, becoming the best you. Now, last week we spoke about the very beginning of knowing what a woman of virtue is. We talked about the characteristics of a ruby and how, we are compared to rubies, and it made us think, wow, what's really inside of us? What has God placed inside of us if we are worth more than a ruby? A ruby carries prestigious beauty, benefits, and imparts things to a person. And it was just so awesome that God gave us that revelation that, we are worth far more than that. So tonight we're going to go even deeper, and we're going to talk about a woman of virtue, who she really is, and how she views life. So we're going to go back to Proverbs 31, and we're going to start at the very beginning of verse 10. And it says here, an excellent woman, one who is spiritual, capable, intelligent, and virtuous. Who is he who can find her? Now, this also made me think that she's very rare. She's a very rare breed. But you know what? God is calling us to be this woman. He's calling us to be spiritual, capable, intelligent, and virtuous. We spoke about what virtuous was last week. It's so many things that was tied to being virtuous. Goodness. It was all based off of character. It was goodness, incorruptibility, righteous, blameless, things like that. And this is what God is calling us forth to be. He wants us to be holy and pure before him. And this is just the very beginning of what a virtuous woman looks like. So going forth, it says her value is more precious than jewels, and her worth is far above rubies or pearls. And we spoke about that last week. So verse 11 says, the heart of her husband trusts in her with secure confidence, and he will have no lack of gain. She comforts, encourages, and does him only good and not evil all the days of her life. Number one, she is a person who has such good character that she has her husband's back no matter what. She encourages him. She brings him comfort. And this is God's perfect will. She's a good wife. So women who are wives, if you are a woman of virtue, or if you want to become a woman of virtue, this is it right here. You love, you support, you encourage your husband. 100% have his back. We're going to be this woman of virtue, and we're going to set aside all of our thoughts, all of our emotions, all of the things that could trigger us to go against our husbands, and we're going to learn how to love and support him. This is God's heart. This is his desire. When he created Eve, and we're going to get to Eve really soon, but when he created Eve to be a helpmate. Verse 13, it says, she looks for wool and flax and works with willing hands in delight. You know what this tells me? She's a hard worker and she enjoys it. Hard work doesn't mean anything to her. It brings her joy. And this is awesome because I know so many women who are hard workers, and they really are true servants, and they don't really care. It makes them feel so good to do something, to move and work with their hands and just put their minds together to do the greater works. And it's awesome. It's not really hard work, but it is. Not to a woman of virtue, because it's like secondhand nature to them. So verse 14, it says, she is like the merchant ships, abounding with treasure. She brings her household's food from afar. She rises also while it is still night and gives food to her household and assigns tasks to her maids. She is a woman who takes care of her family. She is a woman who makes sure she is responsible. Sleep doesn't mean anything to her. She is a caretaker. She is a person who makes sure her family is taken care of. Now, verse 16, it says she considers a field before she buys it or accepts it, expanding her business prudently. With her profits, she plants fruitful vines in her vineyard. So, to me, she's a woman of wisdom. She doesn't react. She processes, she thinks, she looks at all the possibilities of the opportunity presented before her. And she wonders, is this the best thing for me? Or is it something that I can walk away from? But when she gets that revelation that it's the best thing, that it's going to bring her fruit, it's going to be a blessing to her, she buys it. She buys it and she tends to this opportunity. She makes sure she oversees it. She looks after it, and it starts to be such a blessing. This is why it says, with her profits, she plants fruitful vines in her vineyard. Fruitful is something that is going to be rich, something that grows, something that you can glean from. And this is awesome because this is the blessing behind her using wisdom to think about the whole opportunity. Now, verse 17, she equips herself with strength, spiritual, mental, and physical fitness for her God-given task, and makes her arms strong. She's a balanced woman. She is healthy in her spiritual, mental, and physical nature. Okay, she builds herself. It says here she equips herself with strength. So spiritual is she goes before God and she actually gains more strength from God. Mental, she's healthy mentally. She gains her mind, her mentality, her thoughts. She gleans in a way where her mind is strong and healthy. She's able to process the things that are good, and she understands how to equip her mind with strength. Physical fitness is real. It's just what it is. She builds herself up. It says, and makes her arms strong. She builds herself up physically. She's not weak. Her body is not feeble. She makes sure she is healthy. She's strong. She's full of strength spiritually, mentally, and physically. Now, verse 18 says, she sees that her gain is good, meaning she can see the blessings. All that she gained, all that she earned is good. And it says her lamp does not go out, but it burns continually through the night. She is prepared for whatever lies ahead. I keep feeling like her lamp does not go out, but it burns continually through the night. I really feel like this has something to do with her being spiritual in regards to the love that she has for God. I really feel like where it says she is prepared for whatever lies ahead, that means that she trusts God so much. She has no concern. She's prepared. She has made herself weathered the storm, so to speak. She's made herself prepared for whatever comes her way. Whatever storm comes her way, she's ready. Why? Because she trusts in the Lord. I really feel like this is where this particular scripture is going. Verse 20 says, she opens and extends her hand to the poor, and she reaches out her filled hands to the needy. She is a servant to the people. She is a helper. She is a helping hand to the community. And this is so awesome because I'm going to tell you what happens when you become a servant in the community, when you give, and when you're not selfish. You actually, like it says here, she reaches out her filled hands. Her hands are full, and she gives away whatever she has that she knows she can give. she lets it go, and she blesses others. And I'm going to tell you, when you can do this, you have so much favor on your life. You don't have any concerns or any worriness at all, because God is going to take care of you. This is the heart of God right here. God wants his children to be blessed. And when you are fortunate to bless others, and it's no problem for you to be a giver, it's no problem for you to bless and sow seeds in other people, that is such a blessing. Verse 21 says, she does not fear the snow for her household, for all in her household are clothed in expensive scarlet wool. Verse 22, she makes for herself coverlets, cushions, and rugs of tapestry. Her clothing is linen, pure and fine, and purple wool. This woman of virtue is a homemaker who loves the finer things in life. She's blessed with the finer things in life. It says here that she does not fear the snow for her household, for all in her household are clothed in expensive scarlet wool. She makes clothes, for one. Number two, she makes herself coverlets, cushions, and rugs of tapestry. So here's the homemaker part. She makes sure that her house is taken care of. She has this talent. She has this gift. She has the gift to make beautiful things. And it says here, her clothing is linen, pure and fine, and purple wool. She has the finer things in life. And this is awesome. I know so many women who have this talent to make their home beautiful, to make clothes, and to take care of certain things in their household. And they don't really have a fear. They really don't, because they know that they can take care of these little things. They can take care of making curtains for their windows, or, if there's a hole in the couch, they can cover it with making some type of covering fabric over it. I mean, they can just really make their home be beautiful. And this is such an awesome talent that this woman of virtue carries. Now, verse 23 says, her husband is known in the city gates when he sits among the elders of the land. Now, let me share something with you. Because of who she is, her husband is blessed. And a lot of women actually think the opposite. They think, oh, I want my Boaz. And this is good, because we've been taught about wanting our Boaz. And Boaz is a man of God. He is a man who has wisdom, who takes care of his woman. Like he's just a good character, good man all around. And we've been taught we want our Boazes, and many of us have them, and it's such a blessing. But women, don't forget about who you are. You can be so blessed. You can be so blessed that everybody in the community can know your name. And when they see your husband, they can see him as being blessed because of who you are. See how equal it is? Boaz is awesome. Wife, awesome. Woman of virtue, awesome. So it's really a hand-in-hand thing. Verse 24 says, she makes fine linen garments and sells them, and supplies sashes to the merchants. She's a businesswoman. She's a businesswoman. Verse 25, strength and dignity are her clothing, and her position is strong and secure. And she smiles at the future, knowing that she and her family are prepared. Do you know what this means? She knows who she is. She knows who she is. No cares, because she already knows what she's all about, what she can do, how she can bless her family. This is a holy confidence a holy confidence. Verse 27, she looks well to how things go in her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. This means that she is not lazy or slothful in any way. She's constantly on the go. She's constantly tending to her household. Verse 28, her children rise up and call her blessed, happy, prosperous, to be admired. Her husband also, and he praises her, saying, many daughters have done nobly and well with the strength of character that is steadfast in goodness, but you excel them all. It is such an honor for your children and your husband to praise you with respect and honor. They see all of the good. They see your heart. They see your life, and they know it's good, and they just praise you. They just honor you. You are very well respected by your children and your husband. And verse 30 says, charm and grace are deceptive, and superficial beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord, reverently worshiping, obeying, serving, and trusting him with all filled respect, shall be praised. This is where it's at, ladies. A woman who fears the Lord, reverently worshiping, obeying, serving, and trusting him with all filled respect, she shall be praised. This right here is why her family can honor her, can respect her, because she is a woman who fears the Lord, reverently worshiping, obeying, serving, and trusting him with all filled respect. This right here is awesome. If you didn't hear anything that I said tonight, I hope you heard this part, because this right here is where we absolutely need to be. Verse 31 says, give her of the product of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates of the city. This means she doesn't have to go around town, travel around the world, and say, this is me. This is what I did. She's humble. The works that she has done speaks it all for who she is. She doesn't have to go around and remind people of what she's done. Her works speaks for it all. She remains silent and humble. And she's just blessed. She's just blessed. So this is what a woman of virtue looks like. And we're going to go even further as the days go on to speak more about becoming a woman of virtue, becoming the best you. Let this sink in. Process this, because I'm telling you, this is God's heart for us to have these very same characteristics. And as the days go on, we're going to start talking more about who we are. Have a blessed week. I'm so glad you were able to join us tonight. I hope it blessed you. I hope it challenged you. I hope that you are ready for more. We'll see you next week on Thursday at 7 p.m. Have a good one.